Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Barbara and I'm so happy that you're here today because today we are going to be talking about the books I plan to read in December. That means the books I plan to read for the rest of this year. Crazy. The year is almost over. Not quite, we have still 1 month left, but how insane is that? Anyway, December is going to be an exciting month because, well, first of all, Christmas. So Christmas is always fun, magical time. But this year there are 3 readathons that I'm planning to participate in. So I want to talk to you about all 3 of those and to tell you what I plan to read for them. Okay, so I'll just scooch to the side. So I can put up all the readathons over here so you can just see for yourself what the prompts are, but yeah, it's just gonna be pretty straightforward, I believe. First readathon I plan to participate in is the Reindeer Readathon, hosted by Eric from Break-Even Books, I believe. I will, of course, always link it down below the announcement so you can join yourself. I believe I'm in Team Mistletoe. This is randomly assigned to you, so you cannot pick which team you are part of, but I think I'm in Team Mistletoe, and it is a competitive readathon where you get prompts, and each prompt gives you a certain amount of points when you manage to fulfill it. And there are also some bonus prompts for which you can get extra bonus points. This readathon takes place during the entirety of December, so that is going to be not sure if the focus, but here we have the most books to talk about, because we have 9 prompts, so I'm gonna be talking about 9 books. This doesn't mean I plan to read all 9 of them, but I will do my best. I know it probably won't be possible, but I will do my best. The next readathon I plan to participate in is Gamenightathon, which is also the entire month of December. Readathon hosted by Cleo from Bemuse's Bookworm, and this is based on a lottery tickets, or like playing lottery. So you get a grid of prompts. It's 16, it's 4 times 4, and you can pick 5 prompts from it to read books for, and then at the end of the month Cleo will pick 5 numbers randomly. It's like lottery, and the person who will get the most correct prompts will win the readathon. So that's that. So there are 5 books to read in this readathon, but you can unlock more. You can unlock 5 more, but I thought it was just too much and I am not doing that. So I'm gonna do 5, and the bonus prompts that you can unlock, I am ditching those. And then there is one kind of like closest to my heart readathon. It's the Lightfall Readathon hosted by G from Book Roast, and this is a small, just chilled out readathon. I think it's only like 9 days or 10 days that it takes place in December. It is from the it is the second weekend of December until the end of the next weekend. So to get dates correct, it is from, I believe, 9th of December until 17th of December. And there you basically go visit the village in Orilium and like that, and each store has a different prompt, and just how much of that you manage to read in that 1 week, that's completely up to you. And the prompts are pretty vague, so I will talk to you about that in the end, because for this I will probably attempt 1 or 2 books maximum. So I will mention that in the end. Let's go through the prompts for Reindeer Readathon. I also got prepared. I have my reindeer mug, so perfect. And we're gonna go prompt by prompt. So, first prompt we have Dasher, 15 points. Read a book where the title contains one of the first 5 words you see in the word grid on page 4. Must be a word from the list. There is the crossword and there is the list of the words that you can find. And so the first 5 I need to find a book that has one of those 5 words in the title. So I'm gonna go do that now. Okay, so as you could see, the 5 words I got were secret, blood, ship,
Gold,
gold,
and song.
and song. So those are the 5 words I found first. And so I searched through Goodreads, like which books I own that contain these words, at least physically that I own them. And I found 3. So one of them is, this is going to hurt, Secret Diaries of a Junior Doctor by Adam Kay. And this is, I believe, a non-fiction. And it's kind of like his diaries from working as a doctor. So that's one option. Second, I have The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is a Greek mythology retelling about Achilles and Patroclus, I believe. And I've had this one for a long time and I still haven't read it. And there are so many people who say it's like their favorite book of all time. So this is a great contender. And then the third book is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. And this is, I think, YA fantasy set in Africa, I believe. And I have this book, I have the second book in the series, but I think the third one hasn't come up yet. So I think I will skip this one and I will wait until the third one comes out. So I think this one's not gonna make the pick. But then I'm picking from these 2. And I'm leaning towards The Song of Achilles because I just have some, like, what is it called? Like medical anxiety kind of thing. So I'm not sure I want to read this in December. And then one of the bonus prompts is Christmas Tree, 20 extra points. Branch out and read a book you wouldn't typically go for. Now, that would fit more for this one. This is going to hurt. This is typically something I wouldn't go for. But I think I'm gonna stretch it for this one because I wouldn't go for this kind of book in winter because it is set in Greece. It's probably summer, it's always summer in Greece. At least it definitely feels like it's a summery read. So I wouldn't typically go for a summery read in December. So I think I'm gonna pick The Song of Achilles. The next prompt we have is Dancer, 15 points. And it is read a book with a title that has at least 5 words in it. And for this, I'm going to pick something I'm super excited to read. And it is Christmas Wishes at the Chocolate Shop by Jessica Redland. I got this last year for Christmas and I haven't read it because then I was reading something else and then I don't want to read Christmassy romance book during the year. So I was saving it for Christmas, so I'm finally gonna get to this. It is a first book in like Christmas Treat series. I think there are more books in the entire series, but 3 books from that series are themed around Christmas, and this is first one. I have read the third one. That's the only book I've read by this author, and that one was a 5-star. I absolutely loved that one. That's why I wanted to read more by the author. So this is going to be my pick. I have no idea what it is, honestly, but it's a Christmassy romance, and I'm super excited to read it. Third prompt, we have Prancer for 10 points. And the prompt is read a book set in a place you've never been to. And for this, I'm going to pick Brissinger by Christopher Paolini, which is the 3rd book in the Inheritance Cycle series. I am currently reading Eldest. I'm about halfway through, and I definitely want to read Brissinger in December. It's a huge book, but this series is a young adult fantasy series about a boy who finds a dragon egg and becomes a dragon rider. And that's basically how the first book starts. And I'm not gonna say more because spoilers. So I do want to read Brissinger in December. It also fits for the bonus prompt Christmas Star for 25 points. A book over 500 pages because that one is, I think, over 700 pages actually. So that's gonna be perfect when it comes to the points. Next prompt we have is Vixen for 20 points. And the prompt is read a book you have been putting off. And for this, again, I have a perfect book, and that is The Overstory by Richard Powers. This book I bought, I don't know how many years ago, still haven't read it. So definitely have been putting it off because I'm terrified that I'm not going to love it. I do expect I will love it, but I'm not sure. And I'm scared that I might not. And it is a big one too, it's like 500 pages. And this specifically is a pick for my book club, for the Climates book club. a pick for November and December. So we're going to be discussing this at the beginning of January. There is going to be a live discussion. It's not set yet. If you keep an eye on my channel, you will definitely find it there at some point. And so I'm going to read this one. I think this is kind of like a love letter to nature and especially to trees. I really hope I love it. And this one will go perfectly with the bonus prompt of Christmas Elf for 15 points. A book that has been on your shelf TBR for a long time. So those two prompts match up perfectly. Okay, next prompt is Comet for 20 points. And here you're supposed to read a book that starts with the same letter as your star sign. Determiner words are optional. So if there is anything in the beginning or not. I am a Leo. I'm born at the end of July, so I'm Leo, so book that starts with L. And I could pick one book that I own. I have a couple books that start with L. However, I did realize I have one book saved on script that starts with L. And so I think I'm gonna be reading that one, listening to that one, because it's audiobook, so I think it's gonna help me a lot. And that is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry, and this is a cozy fantasy book. I'm not really sure. I heard it's about orc who, after fighting for so many years, decides to calm her life down and start a coffee shop, I believe. And I think that's all that the book is about, her building her coffee shop and meeting people and everything like that. So I think I'm gonna pick that for this prompt. Okay, next up we have Cupid for 15 points, and Cupid is read a book that has multiple points of view. So for this one, I'm going to pick Everything Is Not Enough by Lola Akinmade-Åkerström, which is a second book in the series, the first book being In Every Mirror She's Black, and I read this book 2 months ago, I believe, the first one, and so I want to continue with the second one. I also have it from NetGalley. It is a contemporary fiction following 3 black women living or moving to Stockholm and their experience in a predominantly white society. So that is basically what the first book was about, and the second book we just follow the characters further on after the events of the first book. So that's going to be my pick. And this also fits for bonus prompt of Christmas Lights for 15 points, read an ebook. Because I have it on NetGalley, I got an ebook for it. Okay, next up we have Donner for 15 points. Read a book with multiple animals on the cover. And now this one is tricky, I don't have a book for this. Alright, so for multiple animals on the cover, I scrolled through my script to maybe find some audiobook that could make it easier, since there's already so many books. And I did find 2 that had multiple animals on the cover. One of them was Wayward, but that one is about witchcraft and it feels more of an autumnal read, not exactly December. And the other book is Malamander, The Legends of Erie-on-Sea by Thomas Taylor. The first sentence of description of this book is nobody visits Erie-on-Sea in the winter. So it is set in winter. And there are multiple animals on the cover. There is a whale and there are some birds as well. So I think I'm going to read this one. It was recommended to me after I loved Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. And this one was recommended to me. It's a middle grade book set at sea again. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's 5 hours, so it should be a pretty quick read. So that's my pick. Next prompt is Blitzen for 20 points. And this is roll a dice or use a random number generator, number 1 to 6. The number you get multiplied by 100 is the minimum amount of pages the book needs to have. So I got a die, 6-sided die. So I'm going to roll it and film it. I'm gonna do it on the floor though, because floor is flat and nothing here is flat. So I'm going to roll the die and see what book I need to pick for this. Okay, first of all, you probably noticed the angle and light, and probably me a bit too, changed because when I was editing the video, I filmed the entire video, but when I was editing I found out that around this point there was really bad noise outside that I didn't realize during the filming and it was just too loud to keep in the video and was super annoying. So I decided to refilm the second half of the video. So here I am to refilm the video. I will keep everything as it was. I will just try to talk you through it again. That's basically all I'm going to do here. But I'm going to be pretending as if it was for the first time. So let's just do it. So we rolled a 6. I was hoping this would not happen. I was really hoping that I would not roll a 6, so then I could squeeze in the one other book I have from library in, but this book is not 600 pages long. This is about 360. So I was really hoping I would roll at 3 maximum, but no, I rolled 6. Means I need to read a book that is at least 600 pages long. And I was thinking of maybe reading Inheritance, which is the 4th book in the Inheritance cycle. So after reading Brissinger, the 4th book, the next book is Inheritance. But that one is even bigger than Brissinger, so I don't think there is any chance in the world that I could do that. So I decided to reshuffle the books a little bit. So let me walk you through it. So for this prompt, I decided to move in here Brissinger, which is about 750 pages long. And Brissinger previously I had for Prancer. The prompt was read a book set in a place you have never been. And here I can switch the Song of Achilles, because I already had it on the TBR. That takes place in, well, ancient Greece, but I've never been to Greece, so that definitely works. And the Song of Achilles I picked for the first prompt, for Dasher, where I was supposed to pick a book containing, or the title containing one of those 5 words that I found. And so for this I pick a different book. It is stretching the prompt a little bit, but I just decided to just do it. You know, it's not that bad. But for this prompt I'm going to be then, for the Dasher, going to be reading Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. Yes, that is none of the words I found, but here on the cover it also says every house has a secret, and secret was one of the words that I found in the grid. So I'm gonna count this. This is a horror book. It won the Goodreads Choice Awards last year, and I really like the sound of it, because I think there is a babysitter who takes care of this child who starts drawing continuously more and more disturbing pictures, and we see the pictures. We have the pictures, and they grow more and more disturbing as we go through the book. So I'm really intrigued by this one, and yeah, this is my pick for that. So we've got Brissinger for Blitzen. And then the last proper prompt for Reindeer Readathon, we have Rudolph, of course, for 20 points. And here the prompt is read a book that came out before you were born, or a book that came out in 2023. And for this I decided to read A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. This is, I believe, a YA Dark Academia, and this was G's Patreon book club back in October, I believe, but I never got to it. And then I went to the library the other day and I saw it there. It was just staring at me, so I grabbed it, and it was released in 2023. So I think it fits perfectly. I think it is kind of like fairy tale-esque, actually, kind of like the theme of it. And this also will fit one of the bonus prompts, and that would be Christmas Carols for 20 points, read an audiobook. Because I do have audiobook of this, I think it is on script, so I can combine read audiobook and the physical. So that are all the prompts for Reindeer Readathon. Here is the stack that I plan to be reading for Reindeer Readathon, or, well, plan. I do not plan to read all of these. I don't think that's possible, but I will try to read as many of them as possible, try to find the ones that have the most points, and read those. But, to sum up, we have the Song of Achilles, Christmas Wishes at the Chocolate Shop, The Overstory, Study in Drowning, and Hidden Pictures. And then on top of it we have Brissinger, which I'm gonna get from library. We have Malamander, which is an audiobook, Legends and Lapis, also audiobook, and then Everything is Not Enough, which is ebook. So yes, 9 books, quite a pile, but we'll see how that goes. With that being said, let's now move on to the Gamenightathon hosted by Clio and see how these books fit Gamenightathon. So we've got the grid, 4x4, 16 prompts, And so I'm just gonna talk about the prompts that I will be able to fit. So first of all, I'm going to be able to complete prompt number 4, BIPOC representation. For this, I'm going to be reading Everything Is Not Enough by Lola Akinbade Okestrom, who is a Black woman, and the book, the main characters are also Black women, so it fits perfectly. Next prompt is prompt number 5, and here we have a word. And so for this, I kind of am stretching it a little bit, but I'm going to be, for this reading, a study in drowning, because this is nominated for Goodreads Choice Awards this year. So it is nominated for awards. We are counting it. Third prompt I'm gonna be able to fulfill is prompt number 8, TBR that. And for this, I'm thinking the overstory. That was also the same prompt for the Reindeer Readathon. Next prompt would be prompt 13, visual content. For that we have hidden pictures, because as I showed, there are pictures inside, so it is definitely visual content. And then the last prompt I'll be able to complete for this, or hopefully, is the prompt number 15, more than 600 pages, for which I'll be reading, of course, Singer by Christopher Paolini. And so I do not have a bingo for this. I did not manage. Maybe I'm able to unlock one more, but we will see, because one of the bonus prompts for the extra ticket is all TBR books, and these all that I plan to be reading are on my TBR, are from my TBR, and have been before the month of December. So I could potentially unlock another one and see if any of the other books I picked for Reindeer Readathon could fit any of these prompts. That's that for Gamenightathon. But last but not least, we've got Lightfall and Old Favor Pass. So for this one, I plan to read maybe 1 or 2 books, as I mentioned earlier, but I'm gonna just walk through the prompts and see what it is and what we have, what I would pick for this. So let's go store by store. First one, we have Occult Premonitions, and here we have prompt based on a random tarot card. So here I went on my phone and screen recorded, picking a tarot card from the tarot random picker. And we got a card, I think it was Death, and there were a couple different things. So I think on the card there was Death, as in like skull, in an armor. And so for that I decided to pick a Study in Drowning, because I don't know if you can see, there, right there, is a bust that to me looks pretty scary. The eyes of it are really shining, they are white and empty. It is pretty scary. It seems to me quite similar to Death, so I could read this for that one. Next shop we have Owlcat Craft Cafe. Listen to audiobook whilst crafting or crafting the title. So I have a couple audiobooks on the list, so I could totally do that. I have diamond painting, so I could complete that pretty easily. Next one is Shank and Shawl, Legitimate Retailer. Still a book from someone else's TBR. And here we went to YouTube and watched Rachel's TBR. So I'm gonna watch it again.
Welcome back to where the 7th went down and went to get all festive, and there's a slight twist to this TBR.
Okay, so the first book we have Christmasaurus. Christmasaurus Carol, which I'm really intrigued by, but I have not read and I don't have it, so not that one.
So I may want to reread this book.
A Merry Little Meet Cute sounds cute, but I don't have it, so maybe audiobook. Skipping forward. Oh, we've got Sarah Morgan, Christmas Book Club. That sounds brilliant if you ask me, so I might find actually, or I might try to find audiobook of that one.
Stuck in line, trying to restart the line last set of Christmas. Perfect for me this at Cozy Maker.
Next up we have
I've never read anything from her before.
A Country Christmas by Veronica Henry. Never heard. I don't have that. Oh, yes. I do have this one. It is My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Says She's Sorry. I have that in original. I have that in Swedish. Min mormor hälsar och säger a lot. And I could read this, but it is a pretty long one, and I never read in Swedish a book that I've never read before, so that would be a new, so we'll see, but definitely one of the options. And I think we'll cut it here because I don't think there were any more books that I was interested in that she talked about. For this store, it would be this one. Next store, we have Wallace's Wonderful Winter of Animals, Snow or Ice on the cover. And for this, of course, we've got Christmas Wishes at the Chocolate Shop, Christmas all over the snow all over the place. Perfect pick. Next store we have Smith and Friends and Sons Arcane Good and Such. Last book you added to your want to read list. So I also screen recorded this so we can just look at the video. So we go to my Goodreads and we've got The Right to Be Called, which I do own, but that's for my book club, so that doesn't count. Next I have a couple other non-fiction books. Oh, we have The Vine Witch, which I do have on Scribd, but that is autumnal book, so I don't really feel like it all that much. But then if we continue, what I have next is The Promise of Christmas Past by Linda Hughes. This I got on the Stuff Your Kindle Day back in September. And it is a novella. It is about 180 pages long, I believe. Can a 200-year-old promise transform a woman's life? 1822, Gichi, an Ottawa girl, struggles to adjust to a new way of celebrating the Christmas holiday on America's northern frontier, Mackinac Island. Ultimately, she makes a passionate promise that endures through the ages. 2022, Wanda, a midlife divorcee, travels to the island to investigate her family heritage. After all, she's an empty nester and she's at a crossroads. Romance is the last thing she expects, but the island holds surprises she never dared imagine. So yeah, this one sounds pretty cool. It's really short one, so that is a pick that could definitely work for this shorter readathon. And then the next store we have, the last store with a reading prompt, is the Old Tales bookstore. Book you wanted to read this year but had not had the chance yet. And that fits perfectly with the Hidden Pictures, because I've been wanting to read this since it won last year the Goodreads Choice Awards, and I'm finally getting to it, so this would be a perfect pick. And then the last store is, or like the last shop, is the Rich Pigeon Pub, Reach Out to Someone This Festive Season, which is not the reading prompt. So that is all for all the readathons. There is also part of Orilium is the Eldia's Adventure for the 2023, and my December prompt is I think a festive read. So of course, again, this would count, so then I wouldn't be able to count it for all Favor Pass, but I will figure something out. It's gonna work. Or I could count a different book actually that I just set up with a friend, Diana, that we're gonna buddy read this book, and it's going to be Keeping a Christmas Promise by Joe Thomas. This book I bought last year. I haven't gotten to it because, you know, Christmassy books need to be read during Christmas. But this is basically about a group of friends who, one of them recently died, but when she was still alive, they had this bucket list that they would once celebrate Christmas on Iceland. And so, kind of to honor her, they decide to actually go to Iceland and celebrate Christmas there together. And so it seems like a heartwarming, kind of like dealing with grief kind of story, but it's gonna be really fun because I'm gonna be reading it with a friend, buddy reading it, so this is another one I'm gonna be reading this month apparently. But I think that's it. I'm also still halfway through The Maidens, so I need to read that, or halfway through, not even halfway through yet, by Alex Michaelides. I'm loving this one, so this shouldn't be a problem. And as I mentioned earlier, I am halfway through Eldest. I am about there, so just over halfway. So I've got lots to read. If you are reading any of these books, let me just put them all together quickly. I can't even hold them all. Oh my god, oh my god. And this is not even all of them. Guys, this is not even all of them. Even though these bottom two are half read, the rest are on the TBR, plus about 4 others that I currently don't have, or are audiobooks or Kindle. So definitely not gonna be able to read all of this, but I'm gonna do my best. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you're reading any of these or would like to buddy read any of these with me, let me know. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!